The only running back one overall in 2026 is Jahmyr Gibbs. There's no debate about it. The fantasy football show begins right now.
You're watching the Running Back Show.
So a lot of you were going to say Smitty, but, the thing is, I love Bijan's situation. We love Bijan. We're a Bijan people. Anybody that doesn't love Bijan,
your Bijan card has been revoked.
We'll continue to take away Bijan cards. Bijan's a top 3 bona fide running back fantasy football lock, but he lives in a volatile environment. He lives in an environment where the quarterback situation is in flux for 2026. He lives in a situation where his coaching staff is in flux for 2026. Now, maybe some things get resolved, and if Bijan ever gets the stability that Jahmyr Gibbs has in terms of an offense, a team, a trajectory, week in and week out, year in and year out, then Bijan will be right next to Jahmyr Gibbs, maybe even higher, but right next to him. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But Jahmyr Gibbs, ladies and gentlemen, lives in a saturated world of fantasy football production and surrounded by talent and talent that can stretch the field and keep defenses honest. There's just no comparable in the league. Even JT, who's doing amazing in 2025, and we're still, as of the recording of this video, entering week 15. So if you're watching this after the season's over, understand the perspective we're at right now. JT just lost Danny Dimes. Phillip Rivers, we don't even know how this is going to go yet. You're watching this right now. We have not yet seen game 1 of Phillip Rivers, if he even plays. I wonder if he even gets hurt before the game begins. We're hoping he does well. We're hoping. We don't know. No one knows. It's going to be so fun. I'm here to watch it. I'm entertained by it. But JT walks into turmoil at the QB position. Bijan walks into turmoil at the QB position. As of this moment, they're looking at 2026. Again, this is not a Dynasty video. We did that on the Dynasty channel. Link in description if you are not subscribed or watching the Dynasty channel. We did a Jahmyr Gibbs' number 1 overall in Dynasty video. But this is a tough debating and conversation because we have no running backs, but maybe Achane, Bijan. Genty can't compete. He's in a worse situation. Everything I'm describing that is a turmoil type environment is tenfold over in LV. Bucky Irving, we love Bucky, but he's not in the conversation of running back 1, but he's certainly in the conversation of top 5 running back 2026 fantasy football because we're talking about a bunch of turmoil. There's only one running back in the National Football League that is both capable of being the number 1 overall running back skill set wise. No one's saying James Cook doesn't live in a good environment. No one's saying that Chase Brown doesn't live in a good environment. No one's saying that, Achane or Kyron, that these guys can't be electric and be the guy. There's nobody. This is the number 1 overall running back tier break, hardcore, strong tier break. Bijan's right below him, another tier break potentially. And then Achane and Bijan, you could maybe make that argument for 2026. But a tier break, a hardcore tier break between Jahmyr Gibbs and the very next running back. Now, can you say that about the wide receiver position? Can you say that about the quarterback position? Yeah, but quarterbacks are not somebody you talk about being a first-round pick. But watch my Josh Allen video about him being a second-rounder. But this is something where it becomes the X factor. Remember the X factor back in the day? For those that don't know what the X factor is, back in we're talking like the early 2000s, there was something called the X factor. And what the X factor is it's a determination of, and it's kind of a cool, it was very state of the art back in the day. It's a cool way to determine who the most valuable player is in fantasy. And the premise is this: you've got quarterbacks, you've got running backs, you've got wide receivers, you've got tight ends, okay? Randy Moss, as an example, back in the day, was so far above the last starter at his position, meaning if you play in a league that has 12 owners and you start 3 wide receivers, that's 36 wide receivers. The last starter is wide receiver 36 in fantasy football. Moss outscored the last starter at the position. Running backs, you have 12 teams times 2 running backs, that is 24 running backs. 24 would be the last running back starter in fantasy football. So when you try to say who was better, Tomlinson, Randy Moss, how much did Tomlinson outscore the 24th, the last starting running back? How much did Randy Moss outscore the 36th wide receiver, the last required starting wide receiver? Moss's X factor above the last starter was so much higher than everybody else's, like miles above. It made Randy Moss the most valuable player in fantasy football. This is kind of where we're at now. Does Jahmyr Gibbs trump everybody so much? Does he trump the 24th? Or if you play in a league that has a flex, then you kind of go in between 24 and 36 for the last running back number that you would see starting in your league. But let's just say you played in a 2 running back league, okay? Is Jahmyr Gibbs going to obliterate the running back 24, the last required starter in your league, by more than the wide receiver that you pick, or the quarterback or the tight end that you pick by the last available starter? Like, example, Bowers or McBride, whoever you have as your tight end 1 in 2026. It really is tough to say Bowers while McBride has maybe Brissett, but maybe Brissett's not there. It's a big debate there. But is that tight end going to outscore, let's say Harold Fannin, who we love? Harold Fannin's stock is going up by the second. That is a darling of this channel. And maybe he's nowhere near 10. Maybe he goes tight end 5 or 6 next year. But just example, case in point, he's rising right now as of week 15. Our boy, our darling, Harold Fannin. If you're getting Harold Fannin versus Brock Bowers, what's that difference in scoring? Is it the same as Jahmyr Gibbs relating to the 24th fantasy football running back starter? My point being that Gibbs might be approaching a territory in 2026 where he is so far above and beyond the final required starter, running back 24 in fantasy football, or again in flex situations, you're expanding that it's asinine to consider anybody other than Gibbs at the 1.1 in 2026. I'm talking over wide receivers. I'm talking over everybody. This is by far and away my number 1 dynasty player. This is by far and away my number 1 redraft player. There's a hardcore tier break between Jahmyr Gibbs and everybody else in 2026. And I think all of you know it down deep as well. You're watching the running back series. For all of the series on my channel, all the shows, I have my show broken up into shows. Different series. This is the running back series. Go watch the quarterback, the wide receiver, the tight end series. More videos will drop on these specific players all off season long. Don't forget that this show is live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern every single Monday through Friday. This show is live at midnight almost every single night. And this show is live whenever big news breaks. You're watching the Fantasy Football Show, baby. And check out the sponsors below. Underdog, use code Smitty. UnderdogFantasy.com. Gunner.com. Use code Smitty. Get 10% off your blue light blocking glasses that your boy wears every single day. And BentonPrint.com. You know, the owners of the Attic.shop, the hoodies that we give away all the time. Go use Benton Print for any of your business needs. See you on the flip side. Deuce.